How's everyone doing? Happy Christmas Eve to all of you all that's watching this, and Merry Christmas. This video is about how God speaks through your mind. I'm gonna give you 8 different ways that God can speak to us. So, number 1, God can speak through circumstances. Whatever you're going through, whatever you're facing, the many of the trials and tribulations that you go through, God can speak to you and through you. And sometimes He uses those situations to try to set a signal to your mind of, hey, look, this is how you should handle it. This is how you should think about it. This is how you should deal with it. This is who you should go to. This is what you should do. He gives us these different signals through our circumstances because He wants us to trust Him ultimately. But that's where having that faith in God comes in. Number 2, God can speak through wise counsel. Wise counsel, whether it's a trusted minister, somebody that is deep in the faith, somebody that's deep in the faith that you trust, first of all, and somebody that, you know, you're super close to, that you can kind of depend upon, who's biblically inclined, right? They'll tell you the truth. And if you don't know the answer, they'll give you the right advice through God. But number 3, God can speak through peace. Through your peace, and even just you just being alone, right? He speak to you, you'll hear small talk. You'll hear different sometimes some people say, I hear these little voices in my head. That's God speaking to you. Now, what voice may be saying, that's up for debate, but that's on you to figure out what God is telling you. Number 4, God can speak through people. Believe it or not, yes, He can speak through people, because speaking through people, it's like the way that God puts certain people in your life. He puts certain people in your life for a reason, right? You know how people say some people are in your life for a reason and then some people are in your life for a season? Yeah, there's a reason why that's a saying. Because God will place certain people in your life for you to have certain situations, certain instances that happen to you. For example, say you want to be an engineer, right? You don't have the connections though. You have the knowledge, you have the basic knowledge, but you don't have the connections, you don't have the, company extensions, you don't have any of that. You don't have any other exterior knowledge from just basic book knowledge, right? Because, the world and sometimes opportunities are run by who do you know, right? Who you know. So that's the thing. You gotta think about it like, look, okay, this person that I know, he's an engineer. He's already doing what I want to do. So why not I ask him, I go under his wing and I get knowledge, exterior knowledge that you don't even know. Things like that. Those are called blessings and God speaking through people. It's like some people you talk to, it's like they were there for a reason. Number 5, God can speak through dreams and visions. I know you go to sleep, you have dreams, and you got nightmares. Those nightmares are made by Satan. But sometimes the nightmares are actually made by God to wake you up. Like, you know how some people are like, God, wakes you up out of your sleep? Yes, that's a real thing. Like, God could wake you out of your sleep and be like, look, this is what you got to do to get your life together. Or look, think about this. Those visions, those dreams, like even in the Bible, I forgot who it was. But somebody, y'all have to look that one up. But someone in the Bible had a vision from God that was it David? Was it Joseph? Might have been Joseph. But he ended up being a ruler over his brothers. Over all his brothers, he ended up being a ruler. Who would have ever thought he was going to be a ruler over his brothers? But whenever he told his brothers about this, they were all angry. I think it was Joseph. But y'all have to look that one up. But just think about that. Like, who would ever thought he would be a king after being sold and after being hated on? But guess what? He actually ended up being a king and being over his brothers because of God. And him trusting and putting his faith in God, that got him there. God can speak through our thoughts. All our deep thoughts. Our deepest thoughts, our deepest, moments we think about how we handle certain situations we go through, just different stuff we have to accomplish in the day, just anything. You gotta think about it like, look, some of the times that we mess with this girl or we mess with this type of person and we didn't handle the situation right. Just think about like, he'll give you those thoughts of what you should do next. Like, he give you those little signs. It's all about those signs and those signals. That's why you gotta be deliberately like looking for signs and looking for, you know, God is pointing out different things that we should do. But when you look away from them, you get stuck. And I'm one that's gotten stuck. So when I speak this stuff, I'm speaking from experience. 7, God can speak through the Bible. Yes, I know y'all have. If you've read the Bible, you have experienced this. Because you'll randomly open the Bible. Oh, look. Wow, I needed that. Like, you open up a book, and it may be about a random situation about you not putting up the dishes, and you get in trouble with your mom or your parents. And if some story, some Bible story, you reading, our children should obey their parents in the Lord, for this is right. Like, look, verses like that, I'm telling you, everything that happens in the world or happens in your life happened somewhere in the Bible, or there was an example of it in the Bible. So you cannot tell me the Bible isn't truth. And finally, number 8, God can speak through whispers, right? So sometimes we need to tune into the frequency of heaven and hear the voice of God. Prayer, meditation, stuff like that. So I'm gonna give you a verse. So in Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 13, it says, "While you have been sinning, I have been trying to talk to you, but you refuse to listen." So this is God saying to the Israelites, because what the Israelites didn't realize, all the different sins that they were committing that were sins towards God, they didn't believe what they were doing was sinning. And while they were doing this, the thought of them doing a sin never even came across to them. So, but it makes sense. We go throughout life every day, and we don't think about how our actions could actually be an insult to God. We don't go every day thinking about, oh man, I didn't even know I just sinned just now. That one thought popped in my head, oh, I sinned. Like, no, nobody's thinking about that all day and night. So this is the thing, you gotta remember. The biggest thing about all these different ways that God speaks to us and through our minds, look for the signals, look for the signs. That's why having your faith in God is so important. That's why you gotta always be on your toes, deliberately looking for God and to God for answers, because our journey is all by God. And when you look to the world for your journey, and when you look to Satan for you to make decisions, then you won't go the right path. And blessings don't come from those who don't follow God. Those who follow God brings blessings. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you want to grow in your faith. Yeah. Love y'all. Peace.